Hey friends, my name is Drew. I use he, they pronouns, and today I'm going to share a 10-minute foot and ankle tutorial to help strengthen up your foundation. For this practice, you will want a resistance band of any kind. If you don't have a resistance band, you can also use a towel. And if you have a yoga block, grab it. You might also need a chair for balance, so grab what you need and I'll meet you seated. All right. First thing we're gonna do is take our feet out in front of us. We're gonna start with one at a time. So let's start with our left foot. Bring your foot out in front of you and just give your foot a good rub. You wanna rub the skin on the top of your foot and the skin in the bottom of your foot. So just waking up some of the musculature and the connective tissues in this part of your body. You wanna make sure the arch of your foot feels well tended to. And now you've actually got 3 arches in your foot, and I'll tell you really quick. You've got one arch from your big toe mound to the inner heel. You've got a second arch from your baby toe mound to your outer heel. And then you have a third arch that goes across from your baby toe to your big toe. So you've got this sort of triangle. So try and hit all of that while you're giving your foot some love. And then what I want you to do is hold onto your foot with your hands like a stirrup. So you can interlace your fingers or just hold around. You want to spread your toes and just see if you can feel the activation underneath your fingertips here. If you can feel any sort of muscular engagement in the sole of your foot, you're good. So spread your toes, spread, 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 and you can look at them because you want to see if you can spread them equally. This might not happen the first time you try, but hopefully you're going to revisit this over and over again until you get it. Our feet are our foundation. We use them all day long walking around. They're the neuroreceptors, or they send information. They're like our sensory receptors that send information up through the chain of your engagement in your legs, and your brain tells your body what muscles to turn on based on what your feet are feeling. So keep spreading your toes, and then release your hands. Can you keep spreading your toes? So spread, 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 spread. Good. You might see that some toes can move independently of others. You want to really look into how you can move, specifically your big toe. Keep spreading them for another 3, 2, 1, and then do the opposite. Now squeeze your toes in like you're making a fist, but with your foot. So you're gonna squeeze everything in, and you're gonna kind of wrinkle the skin of your foot. So squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your toes in. This might hurt a little bit, but let's get into this engagement for another 3, 2, 1, and then release. One more time without your hands this time. Spread your toes. See it spreading for 3. Try to get your big toe mound or your big toe and your baby toe far apart. And so as you spread, keep going for another 3, 2, 1. And last time, squeeze your toes in like you're trying to pick something up with your foot, or like you're hugging all your muscles into the center of your foot for another 3, 2, 1, and then release. Good. Let's go over to the other side. Do the same thing just to get started. So you want to push into the arch of your foot. You want to also get some of the blood flow in the top of your foot. You might not know this, but there are connection points into the front line of your leg here that run into your toes. Give this right side a little bit of love. And then when you're ready, start with your hand first, holding your foot in place, and just feel what's going on in there with your hands. So spread your toes again. And breathe while you're doing this whenever you need to breathe. Good, keep spreading, keep spreading. You might start to feel a foot cramp. It's okay. In this practice, I invite you to actually breathe through the cramp. Try not to avoid the cramp. The cramp is your mind creating a new pathway into muscular engagement, and sometimes the body's just figuring it out. Cramps are not bad in this kind of work. Keep going for another 3. Spreading, spreading. You can release your hands now, 2, and then tighten up your toes. So squeeze and hug in for another 3, 2. You might notice a difference between the right side and the left side. Pay attention to any discrepancies. And then one more time, spread and engage that wide footbed. So you might feel width also in the midsection of your foot. Keep going for another 3, 2, 1. Last time, squeeze in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze for 3, 2. My right side always has issues. I had an accident with a sea urchin when I was in Mexico, and my foot's never been the same. Keep holding for another 2, and then release. Okay, relax. Good job. We're just getting started. We're gonna move from the foot up into the ankle a little bit more here. And for here, I like to hold sort of my shin bones so the ankle joint can move in a lot of different directions. We want to make sure that we're strong in all of those directions so that we don't roll our ankle, so that we can navigate sort of balancing a little bit better. So hold your shin bones. So you can hold around your shin. I like to have my heel flat on the ground, and I like to hold the front of my shin. We're going to flex the ankle like this. It's called dorsiflexion. And then you're just going to try to turn it out and turn it in. So it's almost like you're doing like a queen wave, but with your foot. Out and in and out and in. And I'm spreading my toes while I do this. So I'm going out and in and out and in. And you're gonna feel your bones in your shin also start to rotate, because they do. For another 3, 2, 1, good job, relax. Second side, same thing. Get that dorsiflexion as much as you can. Everyone's gonna have a different range of motion here. Hold your shin bones in place, spread your toes, and then start to flare out and in and out and in. There will be some clicking or cricking sounds. It's normal, it's not bad. It's only bad if it shoots like electric signals to your brain of pain. Otherwise, discomfort is actually a good thing here. Do a few more of these, 2 and 1, good, relax. Now, grab your resistance band or your towel. Whatever you have, you're gonna put it over the first foot. Now, you can do this seated. If you want, you can also do it laying down. I'm gonna show you the laying down version because I like it better. Your legs up in front of you. Whatever amount of resistance is there, you're gonna work with it. You put the strap or the towel over the big toe and baby toe mound. You hold on with both hands, elbows are relaxed. You're gonna use the weight of the arms to hold this in place, and then you're just gonna press up. So now we're moving into more of a pointed position, which is called plantar flexion, pushing up and down. Not only will this stretch out your calf muscle, it's also gonna strengthen elements of your Achilles tendon and your calf muscle as well. Right now, you're gonna push equally with both feet. So you might have a strong ankle. So switch it up if you need. You're gonna push up and down equally with your big toe and your baby toe, right? So I'm going straight up. I'm not sure if we can catch that on the camera, but I'm going straight up. Now I'm gonna start to favor my big toe side. So I'm gonna push a little bit more with my big toe side than my baby toe side. That's a little tricky. And it's a small movement. It's like a micro movement. And then you're gonna push more with your baby toe side, which will be more extreme. So you can see sort of how the ankle changes its shape here. And I'm just pushing up on that outer line of the ankle. And you do this till you start to feel an engagement or a burn. 1 more. Dancers do this kind of work all the time because their feet are literally the most important part of their bodies. Okay, take a rest, and we're gonna do the second side. So you're taking your towel or your resistance band, and you're stretching it over the big toe, baby toe mound, and you just start with like the gas pedal movement, pushing up and down, and you can explore how much of a range of motion is available to you. You might be able to go really high up into your plantar flexion. And as you can feel, your ankle feeds up into your calf, which then feeds into your hamstring. So it's all connected. Then start to favor the big toe side of things. So the inner line of your arch pressing up for 3, 2, and then my favorite, the outer line. You're gonna push up. And you're gonna get some rotation and plantar flexion at the same time, which is gonna hit a different line of your musculature. Do this a few times. I personally do work like this probably twice a week, just to make sure all my bits and pieces in the foundation are working well. I like to run, I like to go hiking, and I wanna make sure my ankles are always, finding strength in the fine movements that they can make. Okay, take a little break. Let it sort of settle for a second, and then we're gonna actually come on up to standing. For this, you can use a block, or you can just use the floor, and I'm gonna show you with a chair today. The chair's here for balance. I'm not putting a lot of weight on it. It's just there so I can make sure I'm staying on top of my line of balance here. So my feet are at about hip width distance. I'm standing close enough to the chair that I can just touch it. And what we're gonna do is just do some calf raises or some heel lifts. So I'm just gonna come up onto my tippy toes as high as I can, and then I'm gonna go straight down. So now I have the whole weight of my body on my feet and my ankles. My toes are spread. I forgot to cue you that, so you wanna lift and spread your toes and then start this exercise. So you're going straight up and down and up and down. Now there's a tendency to lean forward on your way up. Really try to stay stacked. It's gonna be harder to go straight up and down. Your core will help you, I promise. And you're doing both legs at the same time. You can do about 8 to 10. It doesn't have to be a lot. Feel how it goes, and then take a pause. Now, if that felt like enough, that's enough for you today. If you're gonna be revisiting this video and you're gonna be doing this multiple times, something that you can add on that will make it more challenging and increase your range of motion is to use a block. So, grab a block. If you don't have a block, you can also do this on the edge of a stair, something that gives you some space for your heel to go underneath. Now, again, you wanna make sure that the chair or whatever support you have is there for you. And I'm gonna demo with my outside leg first so you can get a really nice view here. I'm again spreading my toes, and it's just my big toe mount and baby toe mount on the block. My heel is not on the block. So what's gonna happen here is I'm going to slowly lift up and find that balance. And now I'm gonna allow my heel to drop below the block. Whew, you're gonna feel a deep stretch in your calf, and then you're gonna go straight up and down. Now, this is all my body weight on one leg. It's just one side, so it's gonna be harder. It requires more strength. It will also help you develop more strength if that's what you're looking for. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, these are smaller movements for the fundamentals of whatever else you're gonna do. So if you do a lot of bar classes, you're doing a lot of bigger movements. You might not be paying as specific attention to your ankles. Okay, take one more and pause. I feel that all the way up into my glutes. Do the other side. Take as much time as you need. And I'm not really counting reps here. I'm just going until I feel an engagement that feels like I'm tired. So you might feel different one side to the other, especially if you have any injuries. And you might notice that it's easier for you to balance on one side than the other. My left side is my injured side in my knee and my hip, so my balance is not as clear. And so I tend to spend a little bit more time working my left side so I can develop more strength, though my range of motion personally is a little bit different. So when we really slow down and dial into these specific small movement patterns, we get a clear idea of what our imbalances are and where we can work to get more grounded, more stable, and more steady in our bodies. Okay, that's it for that side. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, you can comment below. We will try to get back to you. I encourage you to try this a few weeks in a row, maybe once a week, and if you're liking it, if it's working for you, you can add it a second time. See what happens if you use this as a warm-up, and see what happens if you use this as a cool down, and let me know how it goes. Thanks for practicing with me, and we'll see you soon.